Hello, everybody. It's Real Talk with Riah today. And the question that I have for you is, are you even ready for a virtual assistant? So a lot of people will say, and you're probably thinking the same thing, that you don't know exactly what you're going to have them do. You know you need help, but you don't have it all lined up perfectly. And then another thing that I'll hear that you probably have thought too is maybe it's too early, or maybe I can't afford it. These are really valid concerns. I hear where you're coming from because I'm a business owner too, and I also had those concerns. And what I want to say to those concerns is this. First of all, if you have basic buckets of what you need to have done for your business that you're wasting time on, like really customer service, administrative tasks, maybe bookkeeping, social media, lead generation, engagement on social media. There's such a myriad of tasks that are really, as CEOs, we should not be the one doing those, because we should be out making connections and networking and doing the things, closing the sales if you don't have a salesperson, doing the things that are revenue generating and are really up to what we should be working on. And the question that I have when it comes to that is, I guess it's not a question. If you have buckets, let's just say, I have a marketing bucket, I have an admin bucket, I have an operations bucket, and you have a handful of things in each one, it's okay. You are ready. You can figure it out, and we can help walk you through that process so that you have a solid job description, a solid idea of how to engage with that virtual assistant and get them off the ground running. I'm really excited because we actually have a testimonial coming out, and for the first time we have a testimonial from the assistant who's sharing her experience of what it's like working with our client. And so you have this opportunity to take what you have, work with us, and have that unpacked in a way that's really actionable so that your assistant can really get to work right away and you don't have to do tons and tons of training. What was the next thing? The next thing was money. So what we do is help people find a virtual assistant, typically female, in the Philippines. And the wage that you're going to pay in the Philippines is significantly different than what you would pay here. There's nothing wrong, and I fully support the people that are virtual assistants here. I want you guys to know that. And there is 100% a place where that is the only solution for business owners. So as well as having employees, just hiring somebody to be your admin assistant here, that is, fantastic. What we're offering is an independent contractor who's a freelancer in the Philippines, and it's at a significantly lower rate, but it's still an amazing and life-giving rate for them. So in terms of cost of living, it's still a very fair wage for them. So you're not taking advantage of them. And I like to put it this way. You might be thinking that it's like an ethical battle financially because a virtual assistant here is somewhere between $25 and $75 an hour typically, depending on their experience level and specialty skill set and all of those things. It can be more. I've not really seen it a lot less than that, unless they're brand spanking new and still learning things. And so maybe your business can afford to engage with somebody for 5 to 10 hours a month. And that would be sort of stretching it. And so you get a little bit of help every month, but you have to kind of scramble and figure out what's the priority to have them help you with, because you're only getting a couple hours. And then you have to factor in too, you're going to have a monthly meeting with that person to go over everything. And that's going to eat up at least a half an hour to an hour of their time. So you're actually getting less than what you're, less in productivity than what you're paying for, because you need to pay for their time to do a meeting to go over that. Again, totally fine. Such a place for that, especially if people want somebody who feel really strongly that they want somebody here. But this is my question. If you could have somebody for the same or less money, that you're not taking advantage of them, that you could have them work 10 hours per week, are you really taking anything away from the virtual assistant that you were going to have for 5 hours a month? Because if you're not going to hire them for 10 hours a week, you're not taking it away from them. And really, if you're having an ethical struggle with it, which some people really do, I recommend hire them both. Hire them both. Do what you were going to do with the assistant here, and then have help from the Philippines at a different rate. So you're helping a woman build her business in a developing country, and you're helping a woman in business here, and you feel good about it. So that's one way that you can reconcile the financial ethical battle. And then in terms of, can you afford it? My question is, can you afford not to? How much are you stunting your revenue by not getting help? How much time are you spending on non-revenue generating activities every week? And then also the drain emotionally on you. And I posed this question to somebody else, and I'll pose this question to you. And that is, as a CEO, how long would you like to be your own secretary? Because that is what you are doing for probably 80% of your time, is being your own secretary. So that's my question to you. How long as a CEO would you like to be your own secretary? Because that's what you're doing. And there's nothing wrong with that, but you need to know that that actually stunts your growth. And so you need an assistant before you need an assistant, because you need to have the time to really develop that relationship, to feel out their skill set, to really understand what they can do. You guys, I'm still figuring out all of the amazing things that my executive assistant can do. I'm still unpacking that. And then I'm just shocked every time, because she's so multi-talented. And so you need that. You need that time to be able to, hi, Aunt Jackie. You need that time to be able to settle in with somebody, really get a groove, really get them trained. And then as your time is freed up, they can really take over the operational side and the marketing side for you, and the administrative, customer service, whatever it might be. So really that financial component, both the ethical side, and then can you afford it? Add up your hours. Add up how much time you are spending every week on these activities, and then multiply it by your hourly rate. How much does that cost you? Because you can't serve your clients in that time frame because you're doing secretarial work. So my question again is, how long as a CEO do you want to be your own secretary? It's so important to realize and just really settle in with that. And if you have questions about unpacking that further, let me know. This is something that I help people work through all the time, because they have little struggles. It might be, and we'll dive into more of the dilemmas that people have when they're thinking about hiring a virtual assistant. But I really wanted to highlight those two. was, like, are you ready task wise, like organized enough? And how are you feeling financially? How are you feeling, like, can you afford somebody? And also, like, the dilemma of, like, hiring somebody here versus hiring somebody there. And the answer really is, like, do both if it's really pressed on your heart. But what a difference it would make early in the business for you to be able to spend time with your vendors, spend time with your clients, doing beta testing, getting research, all of those things. What difference would that make for you early in your business? So even if you're within your first 6 months to a year, you do need a virtual assistant. You do need a virtual assistant. And I can help you even if you're not ready immediately, meaning even if you don't have any idea of what you delegate, we can chat about that a little bit. And maybe you need to work on that a little bit, but you also need to know that that is literally what we do, is we break that down for you and we help you so that you can level up. Because we don't want you being your own secretary. You don't want to be your own secretary. You want to be the CEO of this company that you're building. You want to hobnob and rub elbows with the people that are going to help your business grow. So when you're thinking, am I ready? There are lots of questions that come up that will say whether or not you're ready, or rather lots of concerns or things that will come up that you think that will tell you internally the negative thoughts that you're not ready. You know that you're overwhelmed and you know that there's a lot to do and you know that you could delegate, but you're not really sure how to do that. That's so normal. That's like everybody. You guys, I had to delegating, like literally sit down with my assistant and go through my whole schedule to figure out what she could do and what I could do. This was in the beginning. And I hired somebody within the first 6 months of my business because I grew so quickly that I needed help. And at one point I had 5 people on my staff. I have pared back because they've gone different directions and then I've not filled their position. And I just really wanted to hone in on having one main assistant, and I have one part-time assistant. But this is normal. What you're feeling is normal. And you can do this. You can get the help that you need, and you need to get the help or else you cannot grow. You can't scale what you're doing because you're doing research all the time. You can't scale what you're doing because you're trying to do all the graphics on Canva to post on social media, and you're not even really sure what you're doing there. You are, addressing so many customer service emails, or your calendar is a mess, or your files are a mess, or whatever it might be. We're not even touching on the personal assistant side that could be with these assistants. When you hire somebody in the Philippines, they can also be your personal assistant and help you. Like, for example, Jenna, Gabby, my youngest, is in band, and I snapped a picture of her concert schedule and I sent it to Jenna and I said, please put these on my calendar. And I also had some doctor's appointments that were in a series, and I snapped a picture and sent it to her and said, please put these on my calendar and please color code them yellow. And, it's just, we're not even really touching on that. We're just saying that the things that you're doing that are wasting your precious, precious time to make money and get off the ground running or continuing to level up because you have done an amazing job and you've hit the ceiling of what you can do. In that case, you already know what you want to delegate. You just need hands, and you don't have time to go out and find somebody. So I'm just telling you right now, and I'm imploring you to think about the different things that are stopping you that are getting in the way from getting the help that you need, And don't think that that is the 100% truth. And feel free, like really honestly, hop on a call with me. Let's talk about where you're at. But you, like 90% of you that I'm talking to, you do need a virtual assistant. Even if you're brand new, even if you think you can't afford it, I promise you that you can. There's a lot of flexibility in that, and you can get a lot of help for a fraction of what you would pay otherwise. And again, it's like so life-giving, because you're giving a job to somebody who, a stable job, a freelancer. You need to realize that these women are freelancers, which means sometimes they're project based. Sometimes they have an ongoing client that's like 5 hours a week. They need to have a stable clientele. So even if you're looking at hiring somebody for 10 hours a week is 100% okay. And you're allowing them to stay home with their families. You're saving them money on commute and money on meals, and you're just giving them a better quality of life. When they're done with work, they close their computer and they're home. So getting help for yourself is actually also helping somebody else. It's a beautiful circle that we do, And so I just wanted to come on. I wanted to say the doubts that you are having about whether or not you're ready for a virtual assistant, they are so normal. So normal. For those two doubts, are you ready with the delegation stuff? And are you ready financially? I mean, go, rewind, replay. You are. And, you know, just feel free to reach out to me. My passion is really educating entrepreneurs on getting help and not getting so overwhelmed with what they're doing, because we can level up a lot earlier than we think we can. It's so, so important. So those are two things. You don't have to be ready. You don't have to be ready. So that means you're ready. So give me a call. You can hop on my website, which is Linq, linqcs.com. Or I'll put my calendar link in the comments. And I just encourage you guys, please think about this. If you are your own secretary right now, stop it. Like, don't make me bitch slap you, okay? Stop it. And I care about you. I care about your well-being, and I want you to be successful. So let's chat. Let's work it out, and I'll help you. You don't have to do this alone. So thanks, guys. And this is Real Talk with Riah, car confessional, and Riah rant, all of the above. And I just thank you for joining me. If you watch this on the replay, make sure you say replay and share your thoughts. Like, what is holding you back right now? Or are you working with a virtual assistant, and what got you to the point where you were ready? What got you to the point where you were able to overcome your own objections? So thank you, guys, and I'll talk to you soon. Again, I am Riah Gonzalez of Linq Consulting Solutions, and I just care about you guys, and I care about the people that we work with. So I hope you have an awesome weekend, and I'll talk to you soon.